So my new care package, if you want to call it that, from Grove Motorcycles or Grove Components, Velocette people. So we got some parts for the clutch, got the new style bearing, which has got rollers, which we'll show you in a minute, the angled thrust washer and the hardened ring, the shim washers, and then I've also bought a base gasket and an oil pump gasket. So I'll unwrap these. Oh, and also we've got a locking ring for the clutch as well. So let's unwrap it and I'll show you a little bit more. So part of the package was a brand new rigid or cable for a rigid model. And the first problem, it's got this nipple on the end. And you can see that, it's going to focus. And then here's the gearbox. And down there, that is what pulls or moves the clutch mechanism. So all new to me, but what I'm learning as you operate this thing they call the frying pan comes out. Well, I'm calling it that because someone else told me that's what it was called. And then you've got a series of bearings in here, which we'll go into in a bit more detail in a minute. And the next question I've got, which I can't really answer because I can't measure it, is does that barrel fit in that? I don't really want to take the gearbox apart just to get that out. So yeah, let me have a fiddle. Old bike say, wouldn't it be nice if it all just fitted? But obviously that's not going to happen. So let me have a fiddle and I'll see if I can work out a way of getting that to start. And then this is all leading up to that collar fits in that thread, and then ultimately I've got to make a upstand that fits that cable in there, so I've got a way of being able to enter that cable down inside and secure it. So yeah, a few challenges, let's get on with them. Okay, so I've turned up that, which basically takes the cable, takes the inner cable. And that fits on that, and that's going to be the spacer. What I would say was, I was a bit disappointed, having bought a brand new cable, that this nipple is actually not the right size. It was too big, which I suppose is better than being too small, but it was 6mm as opposed to 5.3, so I've had to file that all the way around to make that a smaller diameter, which was yeah, not that impressed considering it's brand new. Don't know if I've ended up with a faulty one or whether our friends from the supplier need to check their quality control, one of the two. So basically that is the rod that gets lifted, which operates the clutch. See the way I did that? I'm not sure if this is the right way to do it, but this is a bit of a fiddle. Stand by to stand by. goes in there like that, and that screws on like so. And then, can you see that? As I operate the clutch by hand, the frying pan is coming in and out, and conversely these bearings are also coming out. So I don't know how much of that came out the when you could see it in the packet, but basically you've got a hardened ring, which you'll see later. The clutch has got 3 pins that press against this. You've got this tapered washer, chamfered washer, which sits in the back of the frying pan. This was the original thrust bearing, which, to be fair, was nothing wrong with it. The ball bearings are captive, but a couple of people have recommended that I go for the upgrade, and the upgrade, which I still haven't unwrapped yet, is another ring, but instead of having balls, it's got rollers, so there's a greater surface area. And what tends to happen is the balls end up putting a groove in the tapered washer or in the hardened ring, or they wear out. So this is supposed to take more load and would last forever. Don't think it's ever going to worry me the amount of time I'm going to own this bike compared to maybe the next person, but maybe the next person after me will thank me for putting this in. We'll see. So basically I've got to take it out of this packet, grease these rollers, and then put that together. So effectively, once it's all assembled, it goes like this. So let me go on and grease that up, and yeah, we'll see if modern technology is going to help. So that's with all the bits greased up. All I've got to do is assemble them in the gearbox now. So let's try that next. So I don't know how much of that you could see before, but this is called the frying pan. And if I open that clutch cable, you can see that moves in and out, or hopefully you can. So you've got a sleeve, and it goes over the top of the output shaft. And you've got that assembly. So that basically runs around like that. And as the frying pan comes out, this obviously can still rotate, pushes on the 3 pins, which we'll get to next. So next we've got the clutch, we've got the pressure springs, we've got this threaded and then I don't know if you can see, there's one of them, there's 3 pins. So as this goes in, this adjusts the follow through, I guess. That surface, which you can see is hardened, presses against the 3 pins, and the 3 pins then press on the other side of the bearings that I've just, or the bearing that I've just loaded up. And then you've got the locking cap, and you've got a pair of shims which sit on that. Obviously stop these holes falling in, catching on the bearings, so that that can all rotate when you operate the clutch. One bit's going to move and one bit's going to stay stationary. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Took me ages to work out what was going on, and there's probably people shouting at the screen at the moment going, you don't know what you're talking about, and that might be true, but hopefully I've got an idea. So that's the dowel. 1, 2, 3, and hopefully right. So if we put the clutch on, first, hopefully you can see that okay, and we'll load these up. Let's see if I've got a pair of thin nose pliers. Be careful not to lose these. You can buy them. Right, and we've got, screw that in. Now I've got no idea where I want to set that at the moment, so I'm not going to, this is just for not for demonstration purposes, but ooh. That's interesting. Right. Something isn't quite right, because I'm trying to get this thread to engage and there's no thread to engage it on. So let me have a little bit of an investigation and I'll see if I can work out what I'm doing wrong. Right, I don't know if you could, well, you wouldn't have seen that because I didn't turn the camera on, but this output shaft, as you put the clutch on, it tends to push that down, so this can slide in and out. So now hopefully you can see the thread which is going to line up with this. So if we start again with the pins, alright, so the 3 pins are in. Wind the collar back on. Like I said, no idea where the adjustment's going to be yet, so we'll just put it together for the minute. Let's make sure that hasn't slid me down. And basically I'm having to push against the springs try and get that started. I don't think I'm going to do that very easily. Okay, part 2 I'll bring back. Well, that was a lot of heaving and huffing. I managed to use this, which I think has come out of one of the Rudge gearbox, and bolt that on the front, and then use the sprocket securing nut and basically squeeze that down. And then, not the most elegant of solutions, but I managed to get a pair of just so I could get a purchase on those and turn it round, which I've now done. Now I'm a bit bemused, shall we say. I mean, this is, it's like all the, it's in the way I've just put it together, hopefully nothing's come apart inside. I mean, these pegs still look like they're located, but that is not gripping at all at the moment, like I'm pulling the clutch lever in. So whatever's going on, I think I need the carcellated piece on the outside back, but be able to keep the tension on this. And I haven't got any tools to do that with. I'm going to probably need to make something, or someone's offered me the use of said spanner. So I think if that one comes back this way, it will be taking weight off of the pins at the back, which will allow it to grip, and this will stay stationary if I can do it that way, so that it's still got the same amount of tension on, although I don't know if the tension's the correct amount. So I suppose what I'm really saying is I don't know yet. I think it's put together correctly, but there's a gap in this side in between here, which doesn't look quite right. I don't quite know what's going on there, unless it's because this one's being drawn off because the adjustment's wrong, which is quite possible. Anyway, I won't know till I've borrowed the tool, so I think I'm going to call it quits there at the moment. But you might be asking, why might you be asking? You might be asking, why am I bothering to do all this? What started me down the gearbox route? It's a simple answer for that. When I was making the frame, I realised that the chain run back to the back wheel is all important to make sure that I've got some clearance between the frame and the drive chain, which is pretty much a stupid own goal, but I've got some excuses, like it's nailed up inside somewhere where I can't turn the bike round very easily. So I think while I'm at it, I've got this nice sprocket. I'll be able to offer up the gearbox, forgetting that this is maybe not completely brilliant, but I don't think well, that's the primary drive chain anyway, so that's not going to change. This one's definitely fixed, so if I do the nut up, I'll be able to bolt the gearbox back in the frame and then work out where the chain's going, and hopefully I haven't got to remake the other side. Hopefully it's not an own goal, but we'll find out soon.